As an SDR, I hit 187% of quota, averaged 140%, but not because I worked longer hours or did way more action than everyone else. It's just because I followed a system that prioritized the right actions at the right time. So, in this video, I'm going to break down my exact daily routine and the one that helped me consistently book meetings, build pipeline, but also stay focused when things got chaotic and thrown my way. So, just as like a little rehash, I think when I'm coaching reps, and again, I do this with Outbound OS where I work one to one with SaaS sellers to help them book meetings, but tons of reps come to me and they just don't know what to do with the day. Right? There's so many tasks you could be doing. There's cold calling, cold emails, LinkedIn DMs, prospecting, talking with your AE. Like there's so many things that get put on your calendar that reps often get confused of where to start. They get like analysis paralysis where because they're thrown in at the deep end, it's like they've been chucked in the pool without knowing how to swim, they're just sinking, which is what I do because I can't actually swim. But anyway, like they just get thrown in without a real understanding of what to do. So it's so important to have a structure that you can maintain because in sales, it's all about the consistency. Like whether, and again, it doesn't matter what you're doing it for. If you're just doing it to make money, right? You need a system to consistently make commission. If you're doing it to get promoted, you need to hit quota every month to prove you deserve it. If you're doing it to train a team, you need a system that's repeatable for them that they can like it. It's all comes down to having a process and having a system. So how I did this personally, I'm going to run through the different steps now. And just talk about each one in a little bit more detail. So the morning routine, right, is eat the frog first. And I love this phrase, which is if you knew, or it's not a phrase, like a little story, I guess, but if you have to eat a frog every single day, when would you eat it? Right? Would you eat it first thing? Would you eat it midday? Would you eat it at the end of the day? And the whole idea of this is if you're saving it to the end of the day, your whole morning, your whole afternoon, like just your whole day is ruined. So all you're thinking about is, oh my God, I have to eat that frog later. So what you want to do is just do it straight away. Get it done. Like if you do the worst thing in the morning, it's done. And then you've passed it for the whole day. You can stop thinking about it and go from there. So many reps do this when it comes to cold calling, where they know they need to cold call. They know they need to get on the phone, but they fear rejection. Maybe they're scared, whatever reason they give, whatever excuse, right? So what they do is push it to the end of the day. They're like, okay, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. And it gets like 4 p.m. and they're sitting there knowing they should do the dials, but they just don't want to because they've saved it for the last thing. So your morning routine should be the hardest task, the things you want to put off, and also the highest leverage things, right? So your morning is like your sacred time to protect. These are the things that get you closer to your goal. So this is doing the job, like doing the reps, so cold calling, cold emails. Like you just do it in the morning. So the very first thing that I would do is 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Let's say I have a meeting with my manager, like half 8 to 9. Some companies do that, whatever. But the first, like as soon as you're off, the first thing you do is have an hour at least of cold calling. So then no matter what happens the rest of today, let's say the whole Salesforce crashes or my manager books me 10 different internal meetings, like whatever comes up, you have done the action. You have done the most important thing, the highest leverage activity. And as a rep trying to book more meetings, whether you're an SDR just focused on booking meetings, an AE trying to self-source pipeline, right? You should always do your prospecting first thing because that will move you closer to your goal. So pick up the phone and make dials. Focus on pipeline creation. Don't get caught in busy work. Get caught in things that move you further. Imagine you're a business owner, right? Don't get caught working in the business, like checking your emails, updating your Slack, like doing these little things that aren't high leverage and just take away your sort of key focus time. Focus on the things that are working on the business, like getting you closer to your goal. So make cold calls, do the emails in the morning. That's the first thing. The second thing that I would do as soon as I've finished that is dive into a sort of 1 or 2 hour prospecting block, right? Because pipeline over everything is the phrase, and it's a phrase for a reason, right? You always need to be prospecting. So if you're calling every single day, like you're going to get through that list. You can't call the exact same people every single day of the month. It just doesn't work like that. So you need to constantly figure out a way to self-source new leads, find new people to add to sequences, add them to your cold call list. Like you need to constantly source people. So after I've done the action in the morning, I'm a big fan of how it's described in Atomic Habits with action and motion. So action is the doing, it's the execution. So that's the morning. It's like doing high leverage, do the thing you don't want to do, get it done. Action. After I finish that, I move into a block of motion, which is doing the things that set me up for the action. So if I know I'm gonna cold call later, I'm gonna sequence, like I need to find people to add. So I'm gonna go on LinkedIn, I'm gonna use my triggers, I'm gonna look through my safe searches on Sales Nav, and There's going to be a video coming out soon on prospecting, so keep an eye on the channel for that. But again, you find new people to add to sequence. And in terms of like volume, tons of people when I'm working with them, they're like, okay, Aaron, but how many people should I add? And there's no straight answer. It really depends on your target, because to figure out how many people you should add a day, you need to reverse engineer your numbers. So let's just say for ease, like you want to book 10 meetings a month, all through cold email, right? Let's say you're not calling, just all through cold email. We need to figure out, okay, if you have a 50% positive reply rate, that means that you need 20 replies, 10 of them positive. So you book your 10 meetings, right? Let's say you have a 5% reply rate. Okay. So that means you need to send, or 400 people need to have the message, 5% reply, which is 20, 10 of them will be positive if you book it. So 400 people, right? But then let's say for whatever reason, your open rate or your domain's cooked and it's like, well, 50%, right? So you send it to 800 people, half of them see it, 5% reply. So 800 people a month added to sequence. They're like very, basic numbers to make the math easier, but 800 people, 20 working days in a month is 40 people a day. So there you go. That's how many people you should be adding a day to make sure you're maintaining sequence, because with the follow-ups, etc. So, that could be that could be 10 different companies with 4 people a day. Boom. So that 1 hour, 2 hour block is doing that. It's to get you enough in the top of funnel, because it's so important to understand how the funnel works. You have top, middle, bottom, right? So if you want to book these meetings as your bottom funnel, like getting the result, and you don't put enough in at the top, like it's impossible to get the end output. So your prospecting block solves that. I know I'm going really deep into this, but I think it's so important. So again, morning is action, doing. Second thing is motion, setting you up for that. As soon as I've done that, um, when they've been added, as we spoke about, they're being added to sequence. But what I'm going to do now is have a break, because this is probably like 1 hour call in, maybe 1 hour emails, 2 hours DMs, like that's from 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Yeah, maybe it's like 12, 1 p.m. now. I'm going to have a break and actually reset, right? And this is what I did wrong as an AE, to be completely transparent, because when I was an AE, I was also building Outbound OS, my coaching business that I now run full time and sort of travel with. But when I was building that, I would do coaching sessions in the morning, work. So sort of from 8 to 9 a.m., have a coaching session. From 9 to 12, do my day-to-day job. From 12, because I work fully remote. From 12 to 1, have another coaching session. From 1 to 6, work. From 6 to 9, gym. From 9 to about 11, do the prep work for tomorrow. And then have like an hour to just sit there and be like, oh, I try de-stress from the day. And if you do this, like it just leads to burnout. Like in 3 months, I did well, like I hit 141%, but I was done. Like I just didn't want to do it. I was burnt out. I was so focused on the business that I didn't want to do my job. So what you should be understanding is we're building it thinking about the long term. It's not about like crushing it 1 month. It's about sustainability of you maintaining your number. So when you have a break, have an actual break. Like shut your laptop down, turn off your work laptop for an hour. Like turn off Slack, get Gmail off your phone. Like don't get constant pinging. Don't be thinking about work in this break. Go for a walk. Like if you're in the office, go outside. Like go get food. Just genuinely try and detach. Don't think about work in that break, because longevity beats the short burst. It's all about the consistent compounding daily actions. It's not about going 150% for one day and then next day you're at 2%. It's about maintaining that consistent effort, because that compounds over the course of a month, over the course of a quarter and a year. So have an actual break, go for a walk, have that time. If you're from home, go sit on the settee, like chill with your partner if you have one, watch TV, walk the dog, like do something to get out. um so hopefully that makes sense. Again, we have action in the morning, motion after that, midday rest, actually recharge, and then as soon as we're back, we're going to hit it hard again. And it's basically the same process. So now is when we're going to go into another action block. So this is doing the work. So this is going to be your second cold calling block. It could be a social selling block. So being on LinkedIn, sending voice notes, doing videos, like you're just doing action now for another hour as soon as you're back. And the whole purpose of this is, again, you need a lot of input and tons of reps. For some reason, they don't know their numbers, so they think it takes a lot less action than it actually does to get to the goal. Like some reps are like, who? One example, obviously I'm not going to name names, but the person said to me, "Oh, I want to book 5 meetings." So I said, "Okay, great, that's a cool goal. How many accounts are you working?" And he said 10. And I said, "Okay, so is that your total list?" He said, "Yeah, I have hundreds more, but my AE told me to work these 10, so I'm doing 10." And I sat there and I said, okay, so just to reiterate and make sure I understand, you want to book 5 meetings and you have 10 accounts you're working. They went, yeah. So I said, okay, so in the course of a month, you want a 50% positive reply rate and meeting booked rate. They were like, yep. I was like, do you think that's realistic? They were like, no. And then again, like they realized it. So you need enough input to get the output. You can't like half work a system and expect it. It just doesn't work like that. It's like going to the gym and doing like 3 reps and thinking that you're going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like it just doesn't make sense. So do the action, make cold calls, do the DMs and do that. Then the last thing, and this is your end of day, is again motion. So this is motion and admin, which is checking Slack, like updating the CRM, doing the little bits and pieces that aren't high leverage. So the reason we lead with the high leverage stuff first is we need to get that done no matter what. The admin we can push to the end of the day because it's not urgent. You should be thinking like, if you have a Slack DM from or a Slack update to check, like it's not going to help you get closer to your goal. So don't like take your key hours, your flow out of that. So the end of the day, doing a bit of admin, cleaning it up, making sure everything's ready. And I'd always recommend as well, like to just set a to-do list for tomorrow. I use like a little notepad every single day. I just write like my 3 things that I want to do for the next day. So I know going into I doodle a lot as well. My teachers hated me in school, but as an example, like I just draw the 3 things that I need to do, which is like my to-dos. I journal for the day, like just a few notes. Every single day I do it. So then going into the day, like I'm not stressing about tomorrow thinking, oh, what am I going to do? When I finish my day, I'm actually done because I'm like, okay, I've done everything I need to. I've done the action. I've prepped for tomorrow. I know what tomorrow I need to do. So now I can step away. And in sales, it's really hard to do this because we get paid commission, like we get incentivized to do more. So we often think that more equals better, like more work, more hours, more effort equals better, which is just stupid. Like you need to just work better in those hours, just be more efficient. You can get more utilization from doing more. So for example, like let's say you have 8 hours in a day. Yes, you could work, 12 hours, but only about 6 of that be actual deep work on things that get you closer. Or I could just do 6 hours of pure deep work. I mean, I was in SDR, like we finished at 2 on a Friday, so I did 9 till 2. Just to be transparent, like I had really long breaks, like an hour lunch break, 2:30, because I had a process. So I was just chilling. Like I knew what I needed to do to get there. So again, like just to reiterate, the whole thing is morning is your action. Do the work, eat the frog, do the stuff you don't want to do because that is what discipline is about. Second thing, do the motion. So set yourself up for more action. Third thing is have a break or actually reset, then do more action, then finish the day with your motion and also, just doing the admin and little follow up. So I promise you, you really don't have to work longer to hit quota. Some of the best reps that I've met through LinkedIn and also just in general, they don't work like super long hours, but they work hard. Like working long isn't hard. So just understand that if you have a system to prioritize the key actions, like that's how you're going to be able to implement this. And of course, like if you want my support, as I mentioned, like we run Outbound OS, which just helps you operate an outbound system that works for you every single day. So for cold emails, for prospecting, for calling, so you know what you need to do to get to that goal. So of course, like if you want my support implementing that, book a call. But either way, hope this is useful. Hope you took something away, and let me know in the comments like if you start implementing this routine.